One thing that attracted me to the idea of this story is that it's actually quite mysterious. We don't really know who the cicada is. We don't know where he came from or how he came to be in this unusual situation of working in a human office environment. We don't know what that office is. We don't know what they do. And I think all of these strange generalizations and weird situations kind of put some emphasis on the reader's imagination to think about for themselves the different possible answers to these questions that are raised by each image. And in doing so, I like to think that each reader comes away with their own interpretation, that the story and the character reminds them of different things, different aspects of themselves and other people that they might know. I know for myself, for instance, that the character of the cicada reminds me a little bit of my father, who was an architect who worked in a few different offices throughout his life. And I often got the impression that his skills were somewhat underappreciated in some of those places. And but at the end of the day, within himself, he was actually quite happy and content. And then after retiring, spent most of his time disappearing into his garden. So that's something that only occurred to me after completing the book, that there's some resonance for me when I'm thinking about my father. So I hope that other readers also have many different interpretations and come away with a number of questions too. And I think that's important with any work of art, whether it's a story or a painting or a play or a film, that you should come away with some questions. And I think also looking at the world a little bit differently and maybe paying attention also to some people who might be a little more quiet and overlooked, the sort of people around us every day who are often ignored. Sometimes they might be bullied or just otherwise dismissed. And I think while an artist doesn't really have any necessary responsibility to show these things, I feel that there's something deep within us that makes us want to show these things, the overlooked aspects of ordinary life, and almost to try and address some imbalance in the way that we look at things, and to counteract some of those views of the world that are actually quite destructive, even though they might be fairly mainstream and accepted. So yes, I'm very interested to see how this book falls into other readers' hands and what they make of it. And most of all, I hope you have a great time reading it and it triggers your imagination in ways that you don't necessarily expect.